Hello, movie lovers. Welcome back to another episode of Apocaflix Movie News. I'm your host, Jacob Bartley, and I'm joined again, as always, with the regulars, Georgia Ramos and Jake Berlin. What's going on, Gio?
Doing good. Glad to be back. Sorry I missed last week.
No problem. You're a hardworking man. And Jake Berlin, how's it going, man?
Good. Team Cap, man.
Oh, yeah, of course. Team Iron Man.
Okay.
So, before we get started with the movie news topics, I do want to talk a little bit about Civil War. First of all, because I've seen the film again, and I have a little bit of changed opinion, just a slight one. And Gio wasn't able to give his thoughts on the film, but so I just want to say I gave on our review, our spoilers review, I gave it a 10 out of 10, and I was so excited on the hype of it. And I did see it again, and while I think this is not really a spoiler at all. A lot of people are saying that the Zemo character, who's technically considered the villain of the film, is the biggest weakness in the movie. I actually think he's a good character, but he was not given enough screen time in order for us to get to know him. And then there's something that happens at the end that doesn't make that much sense with him. So for that reason, I bring my score down to a 9.5. But I absolutely love the movie. I'm still debating with myself whether it's the best comic book movie ever made. So, and also, I also bought the Deadpool Blu-ray and I watched it again. So, so as of now, I have to still give Deadpool the best movie of the year, in my opinion, because it's just a so unique film, and it was a movie that was more likely to fail because of the rated R and the way the story was telling and everything. So I got Deadpool number 1, Civil War number 2 as far as my top movies of the year. Just wanted to get that out of the way, and I just want to get Gio's quick thoughts on Civil War since you weren't here for the reviews last week.
Really good film. Arguably Marvel's best film. Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. gives his best performance as Tony Stark ever, I think. I love the conflict in the movie. It's fleshed out. Team Cap versus Team Iron Man. You're at times, debating with yourself whose side you're really on, which side is really right. Just when you think you know it all, the movie takes another turn, and then it takes another turn, and then it presents a new, interesting situation for the characters, and it's all in all just a really well-made film. If I had to give it a score, I think I'm gonna go 9.8 out of 10.
Wow.
9.8. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I brought it down to a 9.5, but that is nothing. That 9.5 is an amazing score. Jake, just real quick, has your perception on the movie changed at all after seeing it a second time?
I saw it last night for the second time. Finally, I've been waiting all week to see it. I adored every second of it.
I said, it's arguably the best comic book movie ever made.
And on the Zemo point, after watching it, really thinking about and hear everybody talk about, oh, he's not great, he's not great. He's so good because he's not trying to take over the world.
And he's not trying to physically fight them himself.
He's literally just trying to tear them apart so they destroy the world.
I think he's good. I just wish would have got a little bit more
for what they gave him. It's for the screen time he had, he was fascinating on every level of it.
Daniel Bruhl is amazing.
And that's why I think we wanted more from him, because Daniel Bruhl is so good.
And Never mind. I don't want to spoil anything. All right. Well, with all that out of the way, for those of you who don't know how this works, Gio Ramos, the movie news guru, gathers all the movie news stories throughout the week. And he runs them down for us here on this podcast. So speaking of Civil War, Gio, what do we got first up?
Civil War ends up making 179 million at the box office its opening weekend. As of right now, it's at 765 million on its way to $1 billion. So
wow.
What do you guys think about these numbers?
A little lower than I expected, and a little lower than the tracking numbers, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, not a little lower. I predicted 220. That's a lot lower. And I believe this is true, what I'm about to say, but I'm not going to take credit for it. It's something that John Campea has always said over and over again, and he talked about it on one of his previous podcasts, that when one superhero movie gets received bad, it's going to affect the next superhero movie coming out. Because casual movie fans, and I'm talking about Batman v Superman, casual movie fans go see Batman v Superman, and a lot of them were disappointed with it. So they leave that movie and they're like, you know what? I'm good off another superhero movie right now, especially one with two heroes fighting each other, because they're not in the movie space. They don't hear the great positive word of mouth among critics in the movie space, so they don't know that Civil War is going to be a far superior film according to the critics. So I think Batman v Superman actually affected the box office numbers for Civil War, but 179 is an incredible feat. It's nothing, to not celebrate. It's what is it, the fifth most highest in opening weekend of all time? Like, people need to calm down and stop saying it's a failure. It performed very well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Jacob and I we threw out our numbers last week, and
It
well
deserved to make that
well
much.
below what we thought it would make. But the one thing, you can judge it off its opening weekend, but this movie's going to have more legs than
Oh, definitely.
any movie this year.
Well,
I think.
BVS didn't even hit $1 billion.
Yeah,
this is going to hit $1 billion.
This is
next
definitely going to
week.
hit $1 billion, and it's going to keep going. Apocalypse comes out in 2 weeks, but word of mouth on that film might end up hurting a little bit. You have Turtles in the beginning of June, and then you don't have Independence Day until the end of June. So Civil War could be chugging along for 2 months straight and make a buttload of money. And the word of mouth on this movie is insanely good, and it has Spider-Man and the introduction of Black Panther. It's got Ant-Man, and it's got everything going for it. So if you want to judge off the opening weekend, that's fine. But either way, this movie's going to make a buttload of money by the time it's over.
Yeah, not a failure by any means. 179 million for a Captain America movie. Like, that's insane. That's a success, and I agree with both of you. It'll have more legs going forward. I don't see anything, taking it away. Maybe Independence Day too, but by that time I think the Civil War hype would have
X-Men
died
Apocalypse
down.
is going to make some money, guys. Don't get it wrong. It's going to make money.
Ain't nobody saying it wasn't gonna make money. Ain't nobody saying no. I didn't say that.
And
I
it's going to
said
chip away from what Civil War. If X-Men Apocalypse wasn't coming out, Civil War would make a lot more money. Because those comic book fans like us and all the other ones across the globe are going to go watch it regardless.
right, and I'm excited about it. Like the most recent trailer was the one that kind of won me over. So I'll be there opening night. We'll all be there opening night, and we'll see. So moving forward, let's talk about some trailers. We got quite a few this week. Let's start with the biggest one, in my opinion. It was the Assassin's Creed trailer arriving, and it stars Michael Fassbender, Marion Cotillard, Jeremy Irons, Brandon Gleeson, directed by Justin Cruzel, based off the video game from Ubisoft. What did you guys think of the first trailer? Have you guys even played the game growing up, or well, not growing up, but
I never played the game, so I don't know a ton of backstory on it. I was talking to a buddy at school, and he's like, "Dude, did you see the trailer?" I was like, "Yeah, it looks awesome. It looks awesome." And he's like, "You got to play the video game." So apparently, it looks like the video game, from what I've heard. So, but it actually took me a few times to get into it. I'll be honest. And it came out. I think it came out like 9:00 at night. Wednesday or something like that. So that was a little bit of a surprising release, but. As I watch it, I like it more and more. I mean, Michael Fassbender is fantastic. I really enjoy Marion Cotillard. I think she's awesome in anything she does. I have not got a chance to see Macbeth yet. I know, Gio, you could probably give some backstory on that, but I've heard great things about Justin Cruzel, the director, and what he's able to bring to a project. It's an exciting movie, and with Warcraft coming out next month and this movie coming out in November, it looks like it's going to be great. The only issue I have is that flipping Kanye West song.
I knew it.
And, I think that's what took me out of the trailer the first few times. There was actually a fan who released the trailer without the music, without the Kanye West song. I actually like that trailer a little bit better just because of the Kanye West song. But the action's awesome. The story's there. It interests me a lot because there's all that futuristic technology stuff they're doing. Is going back in the past and like playing two different characters, and I'm always down for that kind of 14th century Spain setting, 15th century, and it's a very exciting time and cool thing to see that we don't see a lot of these days. And not only does Michael Fassbender look cool, but his partner, that chick, she looks like a total badass.
Is that Marion Cotillard?
I don't think that's her.
That's not her.
But she looks like a total badass, and it looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm in for sure.
Jacob?
I like the trailer. I never actually like played the full game, finished it, full story and everything, but I played around on it. You know how on Grand Theft Auto you don't actually play the story, you just run around and do fun stuff. I've done that on Assassin's Creed, and it does look just like the game. And I was telling one of my friends that the video games now look so realistic that you almost would think you're just watching a video game trailer. But this looks amazing. Michael Fassbender is one of the best dramatic and big blockbuster actors working today. And I think it's going to be in one of the... If Warcraft doesn't do it, I think this is going to do it as far as being the first great video game movie since Mortal Kombat. But I agree with Jake. I was not feeling the Kanye song. And it's nothing against Kanye. It could have been any rapper on there. The music just took me out of it. But other than the music, I think it looks great.
Yeah, back when I used to sleep on couches, when I wasn't doing too well in life, I would spend a lot of my time watching my little cousin play the Assassin's Creed game. So I never played it, but I watched the gameplay all the way through, and this trailer like closely resembles what I was watching my cousin play. Really, really good trailer. If you guys haven't seen Macbeth, definitely check it out. Justin Crusoe, he did a phenomenal job with it. The cinematography in that film is amazing, and in this trailer as well. Those shots of Spain in the daylight, I mean, they look awesome. I'm glad that Fassbender and Cotillard are teaming up again. Their chemistry was amazing in Macbeth. And Jeremy Irons, I'm interested to see what kind of character he'll play, especially coming off of Batman v Superman. He was one of the highlights. I didn't mind the Kanye. I feel like it kind of fits. I don't know. Wasn't one of his albums around Spaniard or in that time? I
don't think
that?
so.
Right?
I have no idea.
For me, I mean, it kind of fit, and it also reaches out to a different demographic of people. They're gonna be like, the hell is this? It's a video game. Yeah, Michael Fassbender. They don't know who Michael Fassbender is. They just know him as that guy. But, if they hear the Kanye, they'll be like, oh, okay. Yeah, this movie could be interesting. It's trying to be a little something different, So from a marketing perspective, it could work out pretty well. And fans, whether you like the music or not, you're still going to watch the movie. So moving forward, let's talk about another trailer, The Accountant, starring Ben Affleck and Anna Kendrick, directed by Gavin O'Connor, who did The Warrior. Ben Affleck basically plays a mathematics guy who does some accounting for criminal organizations, and he gets a client that ends up being too big, and the deeper he goes, the more bodies begin to fall, and so on and so forth. It's a crime drama. It's right up Ben Affleck's alley. What do you guys think of the trailer?
I absolutely loved it. This is right up my alley. I know it's not a David Fincher film, but Gio, as soon as the trailer ended, he said, this looks like a David Fincher movie. And Gone Girl and Seven are two of my favorite movies of all time. It has that same kind of feel, like we have no idea what the end game of this film is going to be. Right. And aside from that, I really look forward to movies that Ben Affleck stars in now. Ever since The Town and Gone Girl, and I really liked him in Batman v Superman. So not only as a director, but as an actor, I look forward to what he does. And Anna Kendrick is one of my favorites in the business. And I just love the whole premise and the feel of it. And there's going to be some twists and turns. We're going to have no idea where it's going. This has now became probably one of my top 5 most anticipated movies for the rest of the year, because this is right up my alley. I knew this was coming out, but I didn't know it was going to be this type of film. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, kind of the same boat. I didn't realize that it was this type of movie when I first heard about it. I thought he was literally just playing an accountant. I mean, I didn't know he was some kind of crazy killer on the side. But it's an intriguing trailer, and it's a cool role to see Ben Affleck play. And I love seeing some Anna Kendrick in there. I love seeing some J.K. Simmons in there.
John Bernthal's in the movie.
John Berthal, which we didn't see in the trailer. But, yeah, he's been stepping his game up, obviously, with Punisher. But, yeah, it's a cool trailer, and there's some cool shots in there, and it definitely keeps you interested in to see this guy kind of have, obsessive disorder, however he cooks his food, and then he has his father's kind of training him at a young age. He's letting him beat up kids early in the trailer, and there's some interesting stuff. And the David Fincher thing is interesting because I didn't even think about that, and it does have that kind of vibe. And Yeah, so I don't know about top 5 most anticipated for the rest of the year, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it. So
Yeah, definitely a good trailer, guys. It has a David Fincher feel to it. So, I mean, if you like Gone Girl, it's not really Gone Girl at all, but if you like that tone of it and, you know,
Psychological thriller.
you'll definitely like this one. So let's talk about the new trailer for Inferno, the first trailer. Tom Hanks and Ron Howard's third adaptation from Dan Brown's novel series, co-starring Felicity Jones, Jacob, your girl, and Ben Foster, it's my boy. So I'll start this one off. This was my 6th most anticipated movie of the year. Look, say what you will about The Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons. I really enjoy those films. I really do. I love Tom Hanks as Robert Langdon. I think watching him figure out these clues and decipher all these messages, it's really entertaining to watch. I don't go into these movies looking for historical accuracy or anything like that. I just want to be hooked on a good story and like on the edge of my seat, and that's exactly what this series has given me. I love the third trailer. Felicity Jones, I'm really excited to see her, alongside Tom Hanks under a direction of Ron Howard. Haven't really read the novels yet, but just if this one ends up being good, I just might have to buy these books and start reading them. And if you haven't seen it yet, guys, check out Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons. Really worth watching. So, Jake, what do you think about these?
it was okay. I had to watch it a second time just like 15 minutes ago, but it was an okay trailer. I wasn't super interested into it. There's some cool stuff in there. I've only actually seen the Da Vinci Code, never seen Angels and Demons. I watched the Da Vinci Code for the first time sometime last year, kind of waiting on Angels and Demons, but definitely the most intriguing part, obviously, is Ron Howard. Although In the Heart of the Sea wasn't great, it was still a very enjoyable film. Rush is like one of my favorite films of the last 5 years. I will not get enough of that movie. And then you see Tom Hanks and Felicity Jones working together. It's kind of definitely a buy. I mean, Ben Foster as well. She's one of the best up and coming actresses. I know Jacob's probably gonna touch on that, but yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna go see it. I'll hope another trailer or a second trailer is able to sway me a little bit more to get a little bit more excited.
Yeah, I have not even seen the Da Vinci Code or Angels and Demons, so I have no comments on whether I think this is going to be a good continuation of that. But it's weird, not just for the reason you guys think of, but I'm actually interested in seeing this film because I was telling Gio, I don't remember the other ones having action in them. This one looks like it has a bit more action than the previous one.
It's definitely more blown
people are
up.
chasing them and stuff. But to me, the real reason it looks like a little bit of an action horror thriller in a way, because there's horror elements in these films, especially with Dante's Inferno and the hell element. So that fascinates me, and that gets me really interested in it. But also, of course, Felicity Jones. We did our top 5 actresses working in the business earlier this year, and she was my number 1. I think she's gonna blow people away with Star Wars Rogue One later on this year, and she's gonna be a huge movie star. And I absolutely love her. So I'm actually gonna see this movie. I should probably watch the first 2 though.
Yeah, definitely, man. Check it out. So let's talk about one of the more intriguing films in recent years coming out this year, called Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk, directed by Ang Lee, who did Life of Pi and what's that other movie he did? Crouching Tiger, and there was another movie I'm thinking of. It's not Hulk. I mean, he did Hulk, but I'm not thinking about that one.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, but so this one stars what's his name? The kid.
He's a new actor.
Joe
right?
Alwyn as Billy Lynn. It has Garrett Hudlin, Kristen Stewart, Vin Diesel, Steve Martin, Chris Tucker. It's a story of a young Iraqi soldier coming home and during a Thanksgiving football game during halftime. He gets honored, and he kind of replays flashbacks in his mind of what really happened in Iraq and how he didn't really come home all the way. A part of him is still in Iraq, and the war kind of came home with him in the sense that, he experiences everything in his head still. Really fascinating story. I love the direction. Apparently, it was shot in 120 frames per second, which is unheard of. Most films go for what, Jake? Like 30 frames per second?
Yeah.
Peter Jackson tried 60 frames with The Hobbit. I've yet to watch that trilogy all the way, so maybe you guys can give a little bit of insight on that. But as far as just trailer goes, it looks incredible. I'm really anxious to see this, and I want to watch I want to get the full experience with it, and with that, I think you would go to like an IMAX theater for this one, right? Or
Maybe. I guess it depends on your view of the trailer.
right? No, I mean as far as like getting the full 120 frames, does it
yeah.
matter which format you go to, like 3D, standard, XD,
Probably
or
say IMAX.
IMAX?
Yeah,
You would say
probably,
just to
yeah.
get the full experience. So I'm really interested in it. I love the trailer. I love these kind of films where it talks about war and what really goes on and what we as Americans back home think and what really happens there. So I'm really interested in it. What do you guys think about it?
I was really surprised by this trailer. I had no idea this movie was coming out. I'm not familiar with the Billy Lynn story at all. And yeah, that's something that people don't think about is when these war heroes come back home, we want to celebrate them. And I'm sure, they appreciate it, but we don't think about what they went through. They went through horrific things back there, and maybe they don't want all this attention on them, but they kind of don't have a choice in a way because the government and the media loves to capitalize on those stories. And it kind of sucks, and they should have the choice to say, no, I don't want this attention on me. And this kind of looks like what this movie's about. And what I really loved about this trailer is the juxtaposition of the halftime show and the war scenes going on. And that scene where the guy on the truck is using the machine gun and the dude's trying to shoot him, and the guy body just get totally torn apart, and you can see the blood. I was like, wow, they showed this is this a Red Band trailer? So I think this is going to capture both what it's like to come home from war and be celebrated and what it's like being in war.
Yeah.
And I'm really fascinated by this. I think it could possibly be a Best Picture contender because Ang Lee I looked it up, he directed Brokeback Mountain. I think he won an Oscar for Brokeback Mountain. I think he won an Oscar for Best Director.
He did.
For Brokeback Mountain. And Life of Pi won an Oscar for Best Picture as well. So he's an acclaimed director, and I would not be surprised if this is one of the Best Picture nominees at the end of the year.
I mean, real quick, you just think about Scorsese with his Silence and this movie coming out and The Founder and all these other ones.
Who knows? Maybe The
it's
Accountant.
crazy. It's going to be.
You don't know.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to echo everything Jacob just said. It was honestly a quite troubling trailer to watch. I mean, it's hard stuff to watch.
Definitely.
And, I know people who have come back from war, and I know people who are over there now, and I know people who are training for it. And it's a tough thing, and we don't really think about the situations they have to go through when they come home. It's not just, oh, I'm walking through the door, I'm back home again. It's tough stuff, and I think Ang Lee is going to touch on some incredible stuff. It's going to be I think it's definitely going to be a Best Picture nomination. I think it's going to touch on some things that are going to trouble some people, and that's what makes it such a great movie. And I'm always in for a movie like this. There's rarely movies like this anymore that really touch on your emotions hard and pull the heartstrings. I think it may not have been loved by everybody, but American Sniper was a movie that did that.
Exactly what I was thinking.
And this is going to be a different type of pulling on the heartstrings, but I'm very interested. I love the cast. I think it's a very diverse and different cast.
I gotta say, Kristen Stewart actually looks
Kristen
good.
Yeah,
in the
she
movie.
does, and I love seeing Garrett Hedlund in there.
Vin Diesel.
I love seeing him outside of those big Fast and Furious.
I think
all
that's
those
a
kind of
perfect
movies.
role for him, like
Yeah,
a veteran
and,
soldier.
Of Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, that small role in Saving Private Ryan. Yeah, I'm really interested to see the newcomer step into the role of was it Billy Lynn?
Billy Lynn, yeah.
And so I'm definitely in, and I'm very interested. I think that I don't want to see any more trailers. 'Cause I don't know if it's going to touch on the heartstrings.
Yeah, it showed a lot actually in this trailer. I actually don't want to watch any more trailers.
And
I'm ready to watch
that.
this movie.
And just because I don't know if I want to go through another trailer like this again, because it was very hard to watch.
Well, and
so.
the movie's going to be hard to watch
Yeah.
too. So.
All right. So, Jake, Ben Affleck is now an executive producer for the Zack Snyder directed Justice League Part 1. He's also rumored to be humiliated by the fan reception of Batman v Superman. What does Affleck being an executive producer, and it's for you too, Jacob, what does him being an executive producer mean for Justice League Part 1? What do you think it means? What do you hope it means? What should it mean?
Well,
And your thoughts.
well, here. If I'm not mistaken, couldn't he be considered an executive producer on Batman v Superman? Just without the title? Because didn't he do some stuff on the script? He was kind of in there on every camera angle. It's like...
might disagree with that because they had already gone into production far
that's
before
true.
he came on. He's there from the beginning. On
Okay,
this movie.
well, I'll say this. It does get me a little bit more interested. Problem is, Zack Snyder, it's still his movie.
Definitely, yeah.
And, you know, if this is Zack Snyder's final movie in the DCU where he's directing and then Ben Affleck kind of sticks around as almost a Kevin Feige type, but not to that extreme, I'm in because Ben Affleck knows what he's doing. Especially if the Batman movie's like out of his world. But it's interesting stuff, and you know, I think that it was kind of a lock to happen at some point. I think it may have just been in his contract, and they're going to announce it now. But yeah, I love seeing him in there. I think that you never would have thought that someone like Ben Affleck, where he's winning Oscars as a director, he's really stepping into his own as an actor lately, that he would be willing to become this kind of big figure in a superhero comic book universe. Like 10 years ago, that people would have laughed at you if you would have said that. So it's really cool to see someone like him of his caliber stepping into this universe and kind of taking on a huge role. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do together. And I hope that an executive producer, I hope he has a big part of what they're doing going forward because I think he knows what he's doing. So.
Probably overseeing the script. Maybe?
I hope so because, I mean, obviously every movie he does or touches as far as script goes, it turns to gold lately anyway. And, you know, he's been directed by guys like David Fincher and all these other directors in his past, so he knows what he's doing, and I hope that's what they do with him. I hope they utilize him the way they should.
This is not news to me. This is like, duh, he's going to be an executive producer. They just threw the official title on it. Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
He is one of the best directors working in Hollywood today. Yeah. Guarantee you part of him signing on to be Batman in this DC universe was you're going to oversee some of what we do, obviously. So this is just them slapping that official title on. And yeah, I love it. He's directed some of the best movies to come out in the last decade. And you can't not be excited about him being a part of this, a heavy part of it. And like I just said earlier, he's going to be there from the beginning of this movie. So now we have no idea how much of a part he took in Batman v Superman.
I mean, you have to consider real quick the rewrites from the David Goyer script that was apparently really bad. But I mean, go ahead, you take it. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When you have one person write a script and then another writer come in, it's not like they sat down and wrote the movie together. He just rewrote over his script. So. Batman v Superman, I just think the production of that was done sloppily, and I really like the movie, so I'm not going to complain too much there. But this is the true test. Mm-hmm. Ben Affleck is here from the beginning for Justice League, so if he's going to put his imprint on it, he's going to have a lot. He's going to either take the blame or take the praise, along with Zack Snyder when this movie comes out. So.
And correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but executive producer is higher than the director, right? He's gonna.
As far as what?
As far as the project as a whole, right?
No,
the executive
director, especially a director like Zack Snyder, he's in total control. But Ben Affleck is basically his right-hand man.
And Snyder has proven that he's the team player. I mean, we saw it with Christopher Nolan on Man of Steel, who was very involved, right?
Warner Brothers is not just like, here, do whatever you want. We're just going to sit back. They're not doing that. Trust me.
The reports are
they're
button heads.
But he has more control than the Russo brothers on Infinity Wars and Captain America: Civil War.
Right.
For comparison.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's move on to some rapid fire news real quick. We're going to go through these topics real quick, and you guys give your quick reactions. The next X-Men movie will be set in the 90s, according to Simon Kinberg. No further details, but what do you guys think?
I love it. They've been going in this chronological order from the 70s to the 80s, Oh wait, I think it was 60s.
60s, 70s, Days of Future Past, 80s of the Apocalypse.
Yeah, so I love it, and the 90s are a great time.
Yeah.
Ditto, X-Men television show, animated cartoon,
Oh,
90s.
yeah.
Exactly.
Bring it on.
I think
Bring it
that's
on.
where they're going
Bring it on.
towards. That's what the 90s movie is going to be directly based on the cartoon series. And Bryan Singer used the cartoon series as inspiration when he directed the first X-Men because he didn't read comics at all. So
Yeah, and well, I mean, if you guys saw the image last that I talked about, where it shows the X-Men in full costumes, really,
I'm so
really
excited.
reminiscent
I
of the
can't wait for
90s.
Apocalypse, man. I'm super jacked up for that
Oh
movie.
yeah. Lupita Nyong'o in talks for a Black Panther role. God, she's really scoring a lot of roles now.
Well,
huh?
she has a great
to
relationship
see.
with Disney.
Yeah.
Star Wars: The Force Awakens as Maz Kanata.
The
Jungle Book as the mother wolf. I forget her name. And
She
this
has
is perfect. I mean, obviously, Black Panther is going to be casting a lot of African American actors and people of color. So, yeah, this makes total sense. She's one of the best actresses working today. She's Academy Award
she
winner
is.
for 12 Years a Slave. She's amazing. That voice, oh my goodness, is amazing. This is perfect. I'm curious if she's going to play like his love interest or his wife or one of the guards, the bodyguards from Wakanda. I forget the name, but yeah, I love it.
She's T'Challa's wife. I'm calling it right now.
I hope so.
I think it's a great casting. I hope she kicks some total ass because we haven't really seen her in a complete action role yet. And I would love to see her kick some ass in this movie. Black Panther is arguably one of the greatest things about Civil War, especially after that post-credit scene. Or half
Spoiler!
I say. But yeah, no, I'm all in. Her work with Disney's obviously been great. I hope to see her in another Star Wars movie. Hope to see her in the Marvel Universe going forward. I'm all in.
Yeah, and just think about the kind of roles that she's done. Like in 12 Years a Slave, heavy drama, and just her. In Star Wars, motion capture. In Jungle Book, voice casting. And now she's going back to acting more. Man, she's killing it.
And she's leading a film that's coming out pretty soon. I forget.
The Queen of Katawe, something like that. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Love seeing her get roles. Excited for her and Ryan Coogler working together. That could be really something special. All right. So James Bobin, he directed the Muppets movies. Confirmed to direct MIB 23, the Jump Street Men in Black crossover. Look, have you guys seen those films? And look, Alice in the Looking Glass, not getting the best reviews right now. Does that affect your excitement for this crossover? How do you feel about the crossover?
Oh, excuse me.
Go
I
ahead,
thought you were done.
Go ahead.
I was not excited for Alice Through the Looking Glass. I'm actually going to see it. I have a friend who wants to see it, so I'm going to go see it.
Cool.
And I'm interested in it. Who knows? It could be good. I'm not going to let reviews, ruin my experience of the film. But I haven't seen the Muppet movie, so I have no, preconceived notions on his skill set as a director. This idea alone is stupid, so it almost doesn't matter. But I'm actually interested in seeing it. If you're going to combine two franchises that Sony has, these, if they're going to go, I wonder if it's going to be rated R or not. But, yeah, if they're just going to go balls to the walls with it, why not?
Sure. I haven't seen the Muppet movies. I honestly
you can't, there's nothing much to say,
and I don't
really.
care for a Men in Black Jump Street crossover. Like, it doesn't really interest me that much.
It is pretty.
I would rather see 23 Jump Street because I love the first two.
And the fact that Looking Glass isn't getting the best reviews, it's like, yeah, okay, but put some trust into Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill, and I'll be fine.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, this move just it speaks desperation. This is desperate for Sony for franchises and shared universes. Like they're really looking for.
Watch it come
some
out
stuff.
and everyone loves it.
I know. Watch.
It's
Yeah,
gonna happen.
watch.
It's gonna happen.
It's happened before. Yeah. So all right, let's end this by doing our Showdown Sunday recap. Last week, in honor of Captain America: Civil War, I wanted to pit the two breakout characters, sort of like one making his debut, the other one making his debut. Both
For a
making their
reboot.
His MCU debut.
MCU debut. Okay, so Black Panther versus Spider-Man. Which one for you guys? Which one really outshine the other? Like which one made the bigger debut. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
So we're talking about in the movie.
In the movie.
Okay,
Yeah.
because you posted it Sunday, and I haven't voted yet because I just haven't really figured out my answer yet.
Yeah.
And
It's tough.
I saw it last night, and like Black Panther, the introduction they gave to him, what Chadwick Boseman brought to the character, is something we were not expecting. I think it was way better than what we were all expecting. But man, the Spider-Man stuff is so good in this movie. I gotta go Spider-Man, and it's from the first moment, like when Tony Stark, and you can call this spoilers if you want, but when Tony Stark and Natasha Romanoff are talking to each other, and they're like, "Oh, I got a plan. Oh, what's your plan? What's my plan?" And then you see Queens pop up on the screen. It's like you get so giddy and you get the goosebumps because you know what's about to happen. And then all the stuff goes down in the apartment, and then it gets brought to. It's just everything that takes place with Spider-Man Civil War is gold. And I keep running all of his one-liners through my head and all the action scenes, and seeing it again on the screen is just it. I was watching it last night, and while the movie, I'm thinking to myself, I cannot believe he's in this movie.
Yeah.
Like it's so hard to still believe he's in this movie because we never thought this was going to happen, and to see him fighting alongside Iron Man and swinging on the back of War Machine with his web, and being one to take down Ant-Man, and like
Careful.
Well, I said spoilers, but it's just what the Russos brought to the character, and what Marvel they know how to do these characters, and it's nothing against Black Panther. I think that Black Panther solo movie is my most anticipated solo movie for the next few years, but the character of Spider-Man outshined the character of Black Panther for me.
This is almost an unfair. No, it is an unfair question. It
It's
really
bad,
is, because their roles are totally different in this movie.
And both so important.
Black Panther is one of the main characters in the film. Spider-Man kind of just has a cameo, if you will, or like I don't know. It's more than a cameo, but it's not a role per se. So in that sense, realistically, they're tied. They're both as good as they possibly could have been. But you know who you're talking to? A huge
The Spider-Man guru.
Spider-Man fan. He is my favorite comic book superhero of all time, hands down, no question. And I don't care that we got such little time from him. This is the best Spider-Man I've ever seen in live action.
Agreed.
So Spider-Man takes the cake. I'm sorry, Black Panther. I love you, but it's Spider-Man.
All right, Gio, what are you gonna do? Break the tie,
There's no
or break the streak?
exactly.
Sorry, break the tie.
Honestly, I think I gotta go Black Panther. And it's just,
I don't blame you. He's amazing.
That guy, Chadwick Boseman, is just awesome as Black Panther. He's just, especially at the end when he goes like,
Let them try.
Yeah, no, at the end where him and Baron Zemo have a scene.
Oh, he
and
says,
he's
"I'm
like,
not letting vengeance take."
I will not let vengeance.
By the way, this turned into a spoilers talk of Civil War. Just warning you guys.
I said spoilers. Before
No, you
I
did.
started.
You did. That's fair.
Yeah, and then he goes like, as warrior and as king, I ask you, Captain America, or something like that.
He's great.
How much longer can you keep your friend away from you?
As warrior. And
He's
king,
a
yeah.
Something like that. He's badass. He's playful at times. Like he wants to see what happens if Natasha Romanoff and his bodyguard go at it. And I mean, he's just awesome. I thought he was just everything from his father to his beliefs and his tribe and his how it ends. I just think I got to go Black Panther, and we only have a sample size from Spider-Man, so the best is yet to come.
I mean, just think about you're watching Civil War, and we get all this from Black Panther. How much screen time do you really think he had? What do you say, 20 minutes?
Who, Panther?
Yeah.
25
minutes?
Maybe.
Think about an entire 2-hour movie on this guy. Directed by the Creed director.
No, I would say he probably has 30 or 40 minutes of screen time because the action scene is 17 minutes long.
That's true.
So,
but I mean, still think about you add another hour 20 minutes with Ryan Coogler directing
especially if Lupita Nyongo joins the cast, just everything, man.
And it's funny because I love him in the action scene and everything, but as I'm watching, I can't get over how flipping good his accent is.
And just as
How
T'Challa,
good as he is as the character,
T'Challa is amazing.
Yeah.
Even if we never saw Black Panther fight and you just saw T'Challa in the movie, I would still be.
And
really
that goes
excited.
the same for Tom Holland. It's like what he did with
Just
the character
Peter
of Peter Parker.
Yeah, great. Yeah, as you can tell, we all love Civil War, and that's going to end Apocaflix movie news. Just talking more and more about Civil War. Gio and I are probably going to actually go watch it again after our podcast today. So, yeah, with that being said, thank you all for listening. I'm your host, Jacob Bartley. I want to thank Gio and Jake for joining me today. Let them know they can find you online, guys. Gio?
You can find me on Twitter at GioRamos24 and apocaflixmovies.com. Be sure to check out Rumor Central. We got an exciting podcast coming out later this weekend.
And Jake Berlin.
Twitter, Instagram at Qui-Gon Jake, apocaflixmovies.com every day. Wait for that Padawan podcast. We're trying to put one up. It's been a little slow lately.
A 3-week break, but we're going to come back hard next week.
We'll get that up, yeah.
Yeah, and you can find me on Twitter at JacobBarley_ on this YouTube channel, Apocaflix Movies. Please subscribe. Please hit that like button. Please comment. Let us know what you thought about the topics that we discussed today, and I will definitely reply. And till next time, you all take care.